everyone, my name is Sylvia, and in today's video I'll be ranking Taylor Swift's Folklore album, and I'll also share my favorite lines with you. So let me start off by saying it was extremely difficult to rank this album. I've been listening to it on repeat since it came out and I absolutely love it. It might be my favorite Taylor Swift album of all time. Not sure yet, it's too soon to say, but I basically like every song on it, so my ranking is changing by the day. This is my ranking today, but it might be completely different tomorrow or the day after. So let's get started. My least favorite song on the Folklore album is Epiphany. And that's because I think the melody is a little too boring for my taste. The tempo is a little bit too slow. The way she sings it, it's a little too high. I don't know, I just don't really feel it. I know what it's about, and I think it's awesome that Taylor praised our doctors in this song. Like, I have a lot of respect for the song, but it's just not my favorite. It was also pretty hard to find a favorite line for this song. The lyrics just don't really speak to me that much, but if I had to pick one, I would say only 20 minutes to sleep, but you dream of some epiphany. Just one glimpse of relief to make sense of what you've seen. There is some kind of hope in there. It's really terrible, whatever is happening in the world right now, and we as human beings are just always kind of looking for the silver lining of every situation. That's a good mentality to have, and to always keep looking for the rainbows in the sky, you know? So, yeah. Alright, so number 15. What? Number 15 in my ranking is Peace. It's kind of the same reasons as Epiphany. I just think it's a little bit boring. There's not a lot going on in the song when it comes to the instrumental, and I personally like that when there's some dynamics and some build up in the song, and I just kind of miss that with Peace. I guess my favorite line would be just a hook. Would it be enough if I could never give you peace? Because I think that is what love is about. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship, as a peaceful relationship. There will always be battles, there will always be problems, and the question is, who do you want to solve those problems with? And that person is your person. So number 14 is 7. I like the song, but I guess it's just not the most relatable one on the album for me, and that's why it's not that high up in my ranking. But I do really like it. I do like that it sounds very rootsy. Is that a word? Rootsy? You know, like roots music. I don't know. So my favorite line in this song is I hit my peak at 7, and that's because I can relate to that. I think there is something really beautiful about being a child and being the purest version of yourself. I think we all hit our peaks as a child, because that's the moment where we are still 100% ourselves. It's before the world tells you what you can and cannot be. And the older you get, the more influenced you are, and the more you get polluted by society. So yeah, I know that sounds depressing, and it kind of is. We are at number 13, the magical number 13, and that's where I put Invisible String. And again, I really like this song, so it's not like a bad thing to be at number 13. It's just a little too optimistic for me, I guess. I guess I'm more skeptical, less romantic. So again, my favorite line here is the hook. Isn't it just so pretty to think all along there was some invisible string tying you to me? Wouldn't that be nice? Like, if there was an invisible string pulling us towards where we're supposed to be. Like, whether it's a person, a career path, a place. I mean, I really want this to be true, but I just don't really believe it. So on number 12 in my ranking, I put Hoax. And even though this one is also a little bit boring when it comes to the dynamic of the song, there are something so vulnerable about this song that it just really hits me. It really makes me feel things. So my favorite line of this song is, "You knew it still hurts underneath my scars from when they pulled me apart." When you trust someone enough to show them your scars and the pain underneath them, that's like the most vulnerable thing to do. And for someone to ignore that and rip them open is just treason. On number 11, I put The Last Great American Dynasty. I really like how this song is a little bit more up-tempo than most of the songs on the album. The story doesn't really resonate with me, like it's not very relatable for me, but there is one line that is the most relatable thing ever. If I had to choose one line on this album to get tattooed on my skin, this would be the line. "I had a marvelous time ruining everything." Because I think there's something so liberating in kind of letting go of trying to do everything perfectly. I mean, life is hard. We try, but it's very, very likely that we're gonna ruin some things, that we're gonna mess up. We might as well just have a marvelous time doing it. You know, like enjoy the mistakes, celebrate your failures, and just dance in the rain, you know? Just have a marvelous time ruining everything. This is my life quote from now on, definitely. So we have arrived at our top 10. And on number 10, I have put The One. I really like this song, you know, it's a great opening track, light and fun compared to the rest of the album. And there's some really cool lines in there as well. The first line I think that is pretty interesting is, "Been saying yes instead of no." Because often people tell you, you have to say no more often, you have to create some boundaries and not let people walk all over you. But there's also so much power in saying yes and opening yourself up to opportunities. Also the line, "And if you never bleed, you're never gonna grow," is so true. Emotional pain is needed to become stronger. Just like you have to go through sore muscles to build muscles, you have to go through sore emotions to become mentally stronger and better. And then there's the line, "If one thing had been different, would everything be different today?" I think the answer is yes, and that's what makes life so hard, because with every choice we make, we're changing our storyline without knowing how exactly. It makes it really hard to live in the moment because we're just wondering, what if? So on number 9, I put My Tears Ricochet. And I am really going with the theory that this song is about Big Machine Records. And if you think about it like that, the whole lyric is just incredible. And it was really hard to pick a favorite line, but I think I'm going with, "And I can go anywhere I want. Anywhere I want, just not home." Because you could interpret this in a way that major life events like losing someone or anything else, it always leaves a permanent mark on you. So you can try to go back to the way things were, but you will never be the same. You are forever changed. And that's again why you hit your peak at 7, because you have not yet been, you know, like messed up by things. And I think that really resonates with me, and it's one of the hardest things in life to accept, you know, that things will never really be the same again. Number 8, Mad Woman. I really like the lyrics, I really like the melodies, I really like the piano part, I really like the theme, the fact that it's a feministic song. And there's a few really cool lines in there. One line that immediately stood out to me when I first listened to this song is, "And women like hunting witches too, doing your dirtiest work for you." There's such a terrible truth in this, because we tend to judge each other a lot, and it's all based on our own insecurities, I think. People get shamed, whether it's body shaming, like telling someone she's too skinny is just as terrible as telling her she's too fat. Or whether it's about careers. These days, it's almost like you have to apologize if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, because feminists worked so hard to give us career opportunities. It doesn't mean that we all have to be a career woman. So I think feminism should be about letting you be whoever you want to be. There's no such thing as ladylike. There's no such thing as expectations. You can just do whatever you want to do. So we women, we should all stick together and not shame each other. All right, so number 7 is Mirror Ball for me. I think there's a lot of very relatable stuff in this song. I am still not completely sure whether it's a positive song or a negative song, because I've read some theories of people saying, oh, it's about how you bring out the best in each other or something like that, how you shine for just each other. But I also feel like it's very much about being a pleaser and trying so hard to be liked by everyone. So I don't think it's very healthy. Actually, that's the scenario I can relate to much more, because I am such a pleaser. And there's a lot of very relatable lines in the song. For example, and I'm still a believer, but I don't know why. I've never been a natural. All I do is try, try, try. This is just a very relatable line for me. You know, feeling like you really have to try and work hard to deserve your place in this world, but somehow being optimistic and believing there's something beautiful waiting for you. Also, I'm a mirror ball. I can change everything about me to fit in. I really recognize being a chameleon and kind of adapting myself to whoever I'm with, and it's something I try to be aware of, and I try to be more myself. I think mirror ball is a very beautiful metaphor for that. Number 6 in my ranking is This Is Me Trying. At the very first listen, I just felt this song speak to me, and I wasn't sure yet in what way. I think there is a parallel with mirror ball, where mirror ball is also about trying so hard to fit in, to get people laughing at you, to get people love you. And This Is Me Trying is also just about trying really hard to do it right, even though you know sometimes you mess up and you cannot get through life without breaking a heart or making a few scars here and there, even though you don't want to, but that's just how it works. And there's one line that's just so deep and relatable for me, and it's the line, "They told me all of my cages were mental, so I got wasted like all my potential." This is probably my biggest fear in life, self-sabotage. I know I got quite a lot to offer this world, but I also know I'm holding myself back because I'm afraid to show myself. I'm afraid to fail. I'm afraid to be rejected. It's just so scary to think that you're wasting your potential. And it's a fear that I deal with every single day. So I'm very grateful for Taylor to write a song about that and write a line that captures that so well. So it's time for my top 5. And on 5, I put Cardigan. And this has been a grower for me. At first, I liked it. I thought the lyrics were very good and the melody is catchy, but I didn't really feel it yet. The more I listen to it, the more I'm like, damn, this song is so good. There are so many great lyrics in this song, and it's really hard to pick a favorite line. I picked one, "You drew stars around my scars, but now I'm bleeding." Well, first of all, I have a thing for stars. I mean, and I even got one tattooed on my arm. So yeah, I had to go with the line mentioning stars. But also it's just such a beautiful image, someone drawing stars around your scars. Kind of reminds me of the line in Hoax, "You knew it still hurts underneath my scars." It shows how you trust someone enough to let your wall down, show your scars, and let them draw stars around it. And then there's another one, "Chasing shadows in the grocery line." If you've ever lost someone, I think you can relate to this line. For example, when I had broken up with my ex-boyfriend, he was driving a green car, and I would look out for green cars whenever I was driving. And I still do that sometimes when he's on my mind or when I'm wondering how he's doing. Well, he's probably not even driving it anymore. He probably got another car by now, but I'm still looking for green cars, like chasing shadows in the grocery line. And then also just the hook is great. And when I felt like an old cardigan under someone's bed, you put me on and said I was your favorite. Because that's what love is, right? Someone loving you for who you are, even though you're kind of like this messed up old cardigan. That's love, you know, like loving the mess that you are. On the 4th place, I put Betty, because there's just Taylor Swift debut album vibes all over this song, and it just makes me feel really good. I love old country Taylor Swift. My favorite line is just thinking of you when she pulled up, like a figment of my worst intentions. A figment of my worst intentions? That is so poetic. Like, who writes that? Taylor Swift is who writes that. Top 3. On number 3, I put Exile. Usually I don't really like collaborations that much, but this one is just so sad and you can really feel the emotion. I think it's a really, really great song and I feel it every time I hear it. So I really like the line, "You're not my homeland anymore, so what am I defending now?" Because I think that's something that happens in every relationship. The other person kind of becomes your identity at some point. And when you split up or when you lose each other, there's this twilight zone where you're like, who am I without you? Like, what am I defending now? Another great line in this song is, "Those eyes add insult to injury." Honestly, I don't even know what it means, but it just sounds so good. So my favorite part of the song, for some reason, is, "We always walked a very thin line." For some reason, I just wanna, like every time that line comes on, I just wanna scream the words. I actually wanna do it right now. We always walked a very thin line. I love it. You didn't even hear me out. I gave so many signs. So on number 2 is August. This was actually my number 1, but I changed it at the last minute. I might change it again in an hour, but for now, this is my number 2. And I just really love the melodies and the production, the instruments, just the whole vibe of the song. So my favorite line is, "For me it was enough to live for the hope of it all." Because I think it's always enough to live for hope. Hope is probably all we got, and as long as there's hope, there's life and love, and hope is a good thing to live for. I also really like the line, "You weren't mine to lose," because there's some kind of confession in there, like I know I was wrong. It's a very self-aware line, I think, and I like that. Then it's time for the number 1 song of folklore, and that is Illicit Affairs. I just love everything about this song. The lyrics are so good and I like how they change in the choruses. I also like the instruments that are used in this song, the melodies. I love the theme, how it makes you feel sympathy for the homewrecker, kind of. I just love everything about this song, so that's why it's my number 1. My favorite line is, "Look at this godforsaken mess that you made me. You showed me colors you know I can't see with anyone else." So obviously this song is about a love affair, but it also reminds me of addiction in general. Like being emotionally dependent on something or someone that gives you a short high, but eventually leaves you a godforsaken mess. And there's just so much desperation in this line. Like, I can only get that high with you and I felt it before, so now I keep coming back for more. And you know that. You got me under control and I'm all yours. I've completely lost myself in you. So yeah, I think that's a very powerful line and it can apply to multiple situations. So that's it. That's my ranking of the incredible album Folklore by the beautiful, magical, genius Taylor Swift. I hope you liked it. I'm very curious to hear about your rankings and your favorite lines of the songs. So if you want to share some of your thoughts in the comment section below, I would really enjoy reading that. So if you want to see more of these videos, please don't forget to subscribe below. This is only my second video, but I'm planning on doing many more. I'm gonna rank all the other Taylor Swift albums. I'm gonna react to some new music. So if you wanna watch that, please subscribe and let's build this channel from the ground up together. I'm really looking forward to it and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye bye!